Am I the a-hole for kicking out my roommate after she used my money to pay her rent and bills? Plus update. Earlier this year, I decided to move into a 3-bedroom apartment. I let a friend of a friend move in with a quick background check and job history, and she seemed like a great person at first. We have lived together for 5 months now, and she doesn't clean after herself and constantly eats our food. She hasn't cleaned since she moved in. It has helped with groceries maybe 6 times. She also uses my products and clothes. Well, I happened to check my account online and saw all the money except $4 was left. I called the bank and told them there was a mistake. They said they will do an investigation, and once they find everything blah blah blah, they will have it in my account. But it will take 10 days from the starting date, and we don't know what that'll be. Well, that money was for bills and groceries. I have a 9-year-old child, and I cannot feed my child. So when my roommate got home, she had shopping bags. I told her what happened today, and told her the police are also in on it since it was over $1,000, and I couldn't let that slide. She gets antsy, and before long is asking how long before they know who it is, and I said not long. Not an hour goes by, and she comes in crying with my card in hand, and says how terribly sorry she is, but she needed things, and I had the money before she did and how she was going to pay me back. I told her I was reporting and was evicting her, and to expect a notice to come. She called me a cruel and heartless witch. But she stole from me and my child to where we don't have any groceries left. She loves to eat our food and not replace them. Was I too harsh kicking her out? Now for the top comments before the little update. Not day haul, and I feel like you know that already. Lol. Her not having money isn't your problem. She stole over $1,000 from you. Isn't that considered credit card theft? I'd press charges honestly. It's not okay at all. I already know she can't see her doctor and is off her meds, and this may be a symptom of everything going bad for her. I do feel for her as she was always nice, but messy. I get it. I was like that once, but my kid changed me. Yes, but she's absolutely not your problem. Your child is your first priority. I wonder what else she stole. Not day home. She stole from you and left you unable to provide for your child. There's no way you could be the a-hole in this situation. That being said, make sure you evict her the right way. I don't know your lease situation or the local laws, but for your own sake, make sure it is all above board, just to avoid an unnecessary headache. I'm going Monday to take care of it. You have to call my landlord and have him draw it up as he said I was responsible. I don't know if he will draw up the eviction without the money in hand though. We are sitting ducks right now. Not stay home. She's been taking your things and effectively stole your money that you had for reasons. You're well within your rights to feel completely angry about that. If she was struggling to pay her way, the least she could have done was talk to you about her situation instead of take without asking. I do see your point. I had to read it twice to be able to process it as what it is. If she needed it, she knew to come to me first, but she didn't. I still gonna feel bad and cry like a baby when it comes to time to get paperwork. Edit/update. What if you suggested to look for other valuable things missing? And I'll be damned. My late grandmother's ring is gone. Now I'm calling the police. I mean, I already was before this, but the one ring she knows not to touch is gone. That ring is worth over $20,000 alone. I don't know if she knows, but I never told her the value of it. This infuriates me. First you eat my food, take my clothes and my money, and then you take something worth more to me than money? Is she stupid? She knew that is a definite rule breaker and no going back. I'm calling them now. I'm stressing so bad. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for kicking my cousin out in the middle of the night after she said I chose to be poor? My life has been up and down in terms of finances. I went from rags to rags again pretty much. I have a cousin Alice who I'm very close to. She lost her job and ended up losing her home too. Things have been rough for her, so I agreed to let her stay with me temporarily while she gets back on her feet. A few days ago, Alice was venting to me about how hard her life is and how she just wanted to fast forward to when things were better. I told her I agreed, and she said, well, you're poor by choice, so it's not the same. I asked her what she meant, and she said, Luke would give you money if you ask him, so you're choosing to be poor. Luke is my husband, well, soon to be ex, hopefully. Alice knows all about my history with him and knows why I wouldn't accept money from him. I left him when I found out I was pregnant because he didn't want me to keep our baby. This was the final straw for me, and I've pretty much hidden from him since. Alice knows it was the hardest thing I had ever done, and she knows I never want to be dependent on him again, and I would choose being poor over asking him for money. I got upset with her and I told her that wasn't me choosing to be poor, and that asking him for money wasn't an option for me. She kept arguing with me and doubling down, and eventually I lost my temper and asked her to leave. She thought I was joking at first, but when I told her I was serious, she got pissed at me for kicking her out in the middle of the night when she had nowhere else to go. She ended up asking her parents to come get her. But before she left, she made a snide comment about how she wondered how much money Luke would pay to find out where I lived. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Your cousin was being an incredibly rude guest to begin with. The threat to expose your location to your ex should destroy your relationship with her beyond repair. Truly abysmal behavior. Her sense of entitlement is laughably tone-deaf. Not the a-hole, OP. But please have protection in place for yourself against your cousin and your ex. Not the a-hole by a mile. The absolute nerve of some people. You take her in out of the kindness of your heart, and she repays you by being rude. And then she has the nerve to threaten to out your location to your ex for money? OP, I suggest you stay with a friend temporarily and put a doorbell cam on your apartment, because I can see two things happening. 1, your cousin does tell your ex your address, and he shows up to try and do God knows what. 2, your cousin tries to come back because you kicked her out and she wants some kind of payback. Tell her parents and the rest of your family what happened, and if your ex finds you and something happens, it's on your cousin's hands. Cut her off and let her be someone else's problem, because her parents probably won't want to deal with her for long with her horrible attitude. But before she left, she made a snide comment about how she wondered how much money Luke would pay to find out where I lived. WTF? What kind of a-hole threatens something like this? This just shows you did the right move in my opinion. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my ex that my life will be easier when she and her kids move out? My ex and I got together over 3 years ago, moved into my house after a year. She has 2 children from a previous relationship. We also have a child together who is now almost a year old. We mutually decided to break up a few weeks ago. I have my reasons and she has hers, but ultimately her kids play a big role in the breakup. Not their fault. It's more about our different parenting styles. Due to my ex's trauma from when she was a child, and the kids by a father emotionally mistreated all 3 of them, she had a protective bubble around them that was a massive source of conflict. I could write a list, but I don't see how it would be beneficial to this. Anyways, we broke up because we didn't want to resent each other for our child's sake, like the way she resents her other kid's father. They have been staying here until she finds a new place. However, she keeps making remarks about how I'm going to struggle on my own, especially when I have my daughter half the time. I've left it be because I'm pretty sure she's projecting, and she will no doubt struggle, but it is also the damn time. I was having a particularly bad day at work and she knows, and she brought up how I'm going to cope with work and our daughter. My life would be easier when they move out. Yes, I will be having my daughter 3 nights/4 days a week. I changed my work pattern, so when I do have her, I don't have to work, so I have no issues there. Looking after my daughter will be a breeze. I have no issues now looking after her. In fact, I make sure I have her more than her mother because I love spending time with her. It will be even easier when her and her kids move out for so many reasons. The biggest is that all 3 cannot help themselves and always have to disturb my daughter when she's trying to sleep. So she then doesn't sleep and gets cranky and whines until I take her to my mother so I can put her to sleep in peace. All 3 are extremely messy. My entire house is a minefield and it stresses me out to no end, and none of them clean up after themselves. I also find myself doing more for her kids than she does. I always take them to school and pick them up, take them to their after-school activities, make sure they're fed and shower often, as otherwise she wouldn't remember. I also pay for everything related to the house and we only split shopping and petrol. So I told her that when they move out, I'll have more money to save because I will be spending less on bills, and this is after me paying more than I should in child support. My house will be back to being clean and tidy and will reduce my constant stress. Looking after my daughter will be less stressful because I will be able to put patterns in place to help. I will have more free time because I'm not spending it cleaning up all their mess, running around all day for her kids when it is her job. My life will finally be back in my hands. She didn't take it too well. It has been quiet ever since. Not today, home. Her silence is exactly what she needed. She knows you were right. I think mostly she meant that I'll miss her and the kids and how hard it will be, but his response was stone cold. Doesn't sound like he formed an attachment at all. 4 nights a week is primary custody. You should not be paying child support at all. Please get a formal custody agreement from the court. She should be paying you. And for the love of God, mention that you've done all the childcare and provide any and all evidence of her negligence, photos of your house, days you had to shower them because she wouldn't, etc. It's 3 nights and 4 days. I checked the child maintenance calculator. It offered to pay double to what it says. I earn much more than she does, but I'm only doing it for my child's benefit when she lives with her mother. Of course, this will change if I feel my daughter isn't having the care that she deserves while being over there for one reason or another. Here's a wild idea. Maybe he cares about the other kids too. Disagreeing with her mom's parenting doesn't mean he doesn't care about the kids' well-being at all. Bingo, one of the reasons for the breakup. I believe they need to start doing more things for themselves, whereas she thinks she would keep doing it. And by we, I mean me. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for not giving my brother $15,000? I, 29 male, and my brother, 28 male, grew up extremely close. We did everything together. But when he turned 18, he got arrested and sent to prison for 5 years. I would visit him while he was in prison, but he wanted no relationship with me. Even when he was released, he would not reach out, so I gave up on working on a relationship with him. I'm now married, have a daughter on the way, and work in the government. My brother lives with my parents, does not have a job, and spends most of his days drinking. Then a few months ago, he texted me asking if we could meet at a local restaurant. We met and he asked if I could give him $2,000 to help him get back on his feet. The only thing I asked was that if I gave the money, could we build on being brothers again? He agreed, and I wrote him a check. Now he calls me and tells me that he needs more money. My parents kicked him out of the house and that he needs a place to live. I asked him what he used the money I gave him on, and he told me that he used it on alcohol and clubs. He asks if I could give him $15,000 and help him find a place. I told him no, that it was a lot of money to ask for. I offered to help him find a place that he can afford if he wants. He hangs up on me and sends me a long text that I have always been the favorite son, and he never wants to talk or hear from me. I did try to reach out, but he blocked my number. Am I the a-hole for not giving my brother $15,000? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. If he can't be trusted with $2,000, there's no way on earth I'm giving him $15,000. To add on, sometimes there's a favorite sibling for a reason. One's a convict and the other is an upstanding citizen. Doesn't mean I think that the felon shouldn't get some support, but you can't help someone who refuses to help themselves. At some point though, you have to stop supporting them. The main reason only one of my 5 brothers is dead of an overdose is due to my mom and dad cutting them off. It forced them to get a stable job at a residence. I know it hurts, but he didn't want a brother. He wanted a free bank. You did the correct thing of offering to help him find a place to live instead of forking over cash again. As soon as he realized the bank was closed, he cut you out. Move on with your life. Hopefully your brother gets his act straight one day. Not the a-hole. Obviously you didn't do everything together. Or did you and it took the rap? If so, then you're the a-hole. If you are doing well financially, $2,000 won't make or break you. But $15,000 is a whole other level of money. Especially when he simply drank and blew the $2,000 away. You have a kid on the way? This is all for the best that should never be exposed to her drunk uncle. For the arrest? No. He and a few friends got in major trouble. I was hoping for my daughter to know her uncle, but that might not be possible. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for asking my sister and brother-in-law to pay to clean the urine in my truck? I, 24 male, have a truck, and therefore I'm everyone's first contact if they need to move anything. I typically have reasons to get out of it, but this time my sister, 27 female, needed help moving. She and her husband have my nephew, too, and are expecting twins next month, so bought a house about an hour away from their apartment, and they're trying to get settled before the babies are born. I had plans, but pushed them back so I could help them make 2 trips to the new house. My sister was packing things at the apartment and came with us on the second trip to the house. About 20 minutes away from the new house, my sister said we needed to pull over so she could use the bathroom. I let her know how close we were so she could hold it for a little longer. Her husband demanded I pull it to the nearest gas station, but we were about to pass it anyway, so again I said she should hold it for a bit. Well, she released a full bladder of urine all over the back of my truck. She couldn't get it all cleaned out when we got to the house, so I told her I'd want them to cover the rest of the cleanup. My brother lost it on me and said they wouldn't pay for anything since I wouldn't pull over. My sister's a grown woman that I've known my whole life. She can hold it for 15 minutes. Now I have a truck full of piss and half of my family isn't talking to me. Am I the a-hole for expecting an adult to be responsible for their own pee? You're the a-hole. Any grown adult knows that pregnant women, especially 8 months pregnant with twins, absolutely need to use the bathroom when they said they need to. Wow, I'm absolutely shocked at your idiocy and disregard for your sister. And for the record, I'm usually really understanding all these AITA posts, but you have actually gotten me worked up over here. Kudos. Yeah, reading the bit about how he knows his sister, she can hold it for 15 minutes, got me riled. Maybe usually, but not with 2 babies playing football with her bladder. You're the a-hole, OP. What an inexcusable, immoral action to take. To force a pregnant woman to embarrass herself and feel completely uncomfortable for no reason, after she already communicated the urge to drain the main vein. Then to have the freaking audacity to demand she pay to cover what you cost is a new type of cruelty yet to be discovered. I'm sorry for the language. I am furious right now, as a father of twins. You're the a-hole in every sense of the phrase, OP. I can't say it enough. You're the a-hole. You were asked multiple times to pull over so she could use the bathroom, and you refused. You don't know her body better than she does, and you clearly don't know how being pregnant, especially with twins, affects the body of a woman. I'd suggest you take this time to do some research, humble yourself, and apologize for humiliating your sister. Would it have killed you to pull over? Pregnancy can cause frequent, urgent restroom trips. Your sister has 2 almost ready babies pressing on her bladder. Sounds like she couldn't hold it. She's probably humiliated and upset. I doubt she wanted to peel over herself at your vehicle. Edit. I just called and apologized. I'm paying for it. I sent her the link to the post so she could enjoy my downfall. She's happier now. Update. Am I the a-hole for asking my sister to contribute half the expenses of maintaining my mom's house? Original post. My mother only has one asset, her house. She doesn't have enough savings to bankroll her retirement, so my wife and I pay for it. My wife is a doctor, so she makes great money, and we can afford taking care of her. We have been sending her about $2,000 a month for 5 years now. We also take care of any incidental/emergency expenses. We have also all major house repairs, and I have never asked for my sister to contribute as she's not as well off as we are. My mom wanted to get her finances in order and she asked me to help. She talked about wanting to get her will written. She said she wanted to give the house to my sister. She has no other asset of note, and it would mean that my sister gets almost 90% of her assets. I've always known that mom would skew the inheritance more towards her, and I didn't mind that. I thought I could help my sister by helping her. My sister needs it more, and we are already doing so well. But I am really upset by this. I know it is greedy to be focused on the house, but it makes me feel horrible. I am the one who is always with her when she is sick, and she practically cuts me off the will? My sister isn't struggling herself. She's comfortably middle class. If she was really struggling, I would have understood it. This was about a month ago. The house needs some repairs again, and my mom asked me to pay for it. I called my sister and told her that I want her to contribute for half the expenses. I know it is petty, but I don't get why I should pay for a house which I never get. She talked to my mom, and she is upset with me for asking my sister for money, and she thinks it is very petty and greedy of me to ask for money from someone who doesn't make as much as we do when we could afford it. I do feel like an a-hole. I can understand why she's doing it, and if I think about it rationally, I can see why she would want to give the house to my sister, but I still feel horrible about it. She also feels that I'm being a horrible sibling by forcing her to pay for stuff and just dropping it on her head. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not today, home. Let your sister repair the house she's going to get. You've paid enough already. She can take over. I'd even go as far to issue an ultimatum. The house is split evenly, or you stop your allowance since you get no gratitude for your family's sacrifice. All of these people are looking at the gift horse in the mouth. You and your wife have given $120,000 over the past 5 years. Your sister should be the one paying everything for the maintenance of the property she's going to get. You've been very generous taking care of your mother and helping her keep her house. But maybe it's time for your mother to sell her house and downsize to something she can afford, or afford with less financial support from you. Since it sounds unlikely you will get any sort of inheritance, you also should be saving for you and your spouse's retirement to make sure you both are comfortable later in life. Not an a-hole. And not using your wife as an ATM to fund your ungrateful mom. You're the a-hole for that. I have heard, though, that whoever treats an elderly person the best is usually treated the worst. I saw some of this when my oldest sister was helping my great aunt. Also, life throws curveballs. Who knows where you might financially be in 10 years? This is true. My otherwise lovely grandmother treated my mom far worse than she treated her deadbeat son, aka my uncle. OP not the a-hole and stop paying money. Tell your mother that due to the fact that you've been sending her a monthly allowance and paid for the upkeep of the house, the only fair deal is that you and your sister get an equal share. And if not, then the entire cost of the house and its maintenance is immediately transferred to the sole heir. And now for the update. I was feeling a massive amount of guilt for my actions, but most commenters supported me. I talked to my mother about how much money we have spent on her and how much more we were planning to spend on her. She didn't budge at all. I was incredibly frustrated, and we ended up having a yelling match. She said she wanted her money to go to her real grandchildren, and not to our children who are adopted. It broke my heart. My children adore their grandma. They think the world of her. I've never noticed any favoritism in her behavior either, as she always doted on them. So I don't know where this is coming from. She then explained that the house was my father's hard-earned money, and she couldn't really give that money to people he didn't approve of. She told me he would have wanted this money to go to my sister and her biological children, not to children who didn't even look like him. I don't understand how she could pretend to love my children for a decade. I was fooled by it. Everyone was fooled by it. I can't even process it. We have stopped funding her retirement, and now she will have to sell the house. I talked to my sister, and she cried when I told her what my mother had told me. She said she would handle buying our mother a new home. I haven't visited her in a month, and I'm not planning to visit for a long time. I'm so sorry that your mother has turned into this person that you no longer recognize, but your children are so incredibly lucky to have a parent that puts them above this kind of crap. OP, has your mom had a thorough wellness check lately? If this behavior/attitude seems out of the blue, it could potentially be an early sign of dementia. I'm wondering the same thing. This seems like such a shock to OP, and if her behavior has changed so much, a checkup might be worthwhile. Thank you for the kind comments. Yes, my wife did say it could be dementia. My sister is planning on getting her a wellness check soon. I'm trying not to think about it. If a parent called my adopted kids not their real grandkids, they'd never see another penny from me. I'm the only mixed kid in my family, but my gram would have never said anything about it. When my grams died, she started parceling out jewelry to all the kids and grandkids. I was very aware I might not get something since I was a step-grandkid, but she gifted me with the most beautiful set of rings. I will always love her for that. To say your grandkids aren't yours because they're adopted or step is insane to me. My fiancé has 4 grown boys. His youngest is having a baby soon. I'm beyond excited. Will I be a grandma at 36? Yes. Is that insane? Yes. Or he and his partner asking me what I want to be called? Yes. I would never. Yes, I didn't raise his kids, but I'm here now and they call me Mama Lo. They know I'll be their kid's extra grandma. Your mom sucks. Period. Her selling the house is for the best. I thought maybe it wasn't worth much, but since reading through your comments, I saw it's worth between 1 and 1.5 million. She could definitely buy a smaller place and live off the proceeds of the sale. Most seniors tend to downsize for just that reason. You shouldn't have to subsidize her retirement when she is capable of doing it herself. You also shouldn't be paying to fix a house you have no equity in. I'm sorry you had to find out such a shocking revelation by your mom. Just an aside, if what she said about your children is so out of character, maybe her faculties are declining. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my parents move in and reminding them that they backed the wrong horse? My 37 male family comes from and is a long line of doctors. Being a doctor is the only acceptable profession in their eyes, and anything aside from that is met with literal abandonment. Which is what happened to me when I turned 17 and told my family I was not going to be a doctor, but to build an acting career/social media career. YouTube wasn't huge then, and supplement my income with small business endeavors. When I told my family this, they kicked me out, and we subsequently lost contact for 17 years. During this time, they moved to the UK and my sister became a doctor. And my older brother got into a very competitive stream for surgery, neurosurgery specializing in spinal tumor diagnosis and removal, which he has now finished. We reconnected when COVID hit and they told me they were moving back to Sydney for lifestyle reasons, and because my brother has found a $750,000 a year job. During the last 2 years, they never asked me how my acting career/social media stuff went. I basically assumed I was just slumming in Sydney. To their credit, they were correct in that I didn't make it big in acting, or make it at all. I did, however, make it big as an investment banker, and recently made partner at the bank I work. This came to head on Friday when I met them for house shopping. I walked to meet them, and when they asked about my car, I just said I preferred to walk, and then they realized the areas they wanted to live, despite being highly paid medical professionals, simply wasn't going to be happening, as the houses cost north of $20 million. When we decided to call it a day and regroup, they suggested going to my place before going out to dinner. When we arrived at my house, they thought I was renting a room and inquired how much rent was. I informed them that I wasn't renting and that this was my house. They lost their minds, started accusing me of lying to them for years, and only meeting up to rub their face in my probably illegal gained wealth, and then capped it off by informing me that they'll be living with me now, instead of with my oldest brother, since they can't be seen living in a worse house than their son. I laughed at them and reminded them that they bet on my brother and sister, not me, and that they have a better chance of living with my neighbors than me. At that point, they threatened to cut me out of their will, to which I reminded them of the fact that they can't even afford to buy in my area, so their willed assets don't really matter to me. Now they aren't talking to me, and my brother and sister are saying I should have been proactive in letting them know of my success. I have a public LinkedIn profile, so they literally never Googled me. Edit. A lot of people are critical that my family just kicked me out or that it's unlikely a parent would do this. Obviously, I wasn't a great child in their eyes in general, and this was the final straw, so to speak. Also, Desi parents are a different level of parents. From washing your father's feet, to not speaking unless spoken to, not allowed to talk to opposite sex, and viewing the head of the house as an almost god figure. It's a bit different. Desi parents are also incredibly strict. Not like your room needs to be clean strict, but like clean the entire house, wash the cars, wash iron everyone's clothes or you are getting beaten with a broom. Not today, home. Let them know you're successful? Why? So they talk to you again simply to see what they can get out of you? Thanks, but no thanks. You handled this just right. Very much a cultural thing. Good for you. What they should have said was how proud they are of your success, despite not having any family support. Culturally, is it normal to turn your back on your children? I wish you continued success, and I would probably invest in some upgraded security measures. It is not unusual, but normally reserved for fairly significant breaches within the family, like marrying down a caste, coming out as gay, or religious transgressions. Depends on the family, but I'm not the only Indian in my social circle who has been effectively disowned, far more common for women than men. Not today, home. Sorry that they are not interested in you as a person, but only as a status symbol. Very sad. Congratulations on your great career, though. Not even me. They did suggest that I move out and let my brother, his children, and them live in my house. It was amusing, to say the least. Wow. Let me guess. You don't have kids, so obviously your golden child brother deserves the home you worked hard for. No, I don't have kids. But I do have a longtime partner who they haven't met either, so that'll be a blow-up next without a doubt. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to brush the toilet for my pregnant sister-in-law after my husband called it my work? My female 25, sister-in-law female 23, and brother-in-law male 30 moved in with us, and she's 4 months pregnant. And every time before she uses the bathroom, she'd ask me to go in and clean the toilet for her because she's always nauseous, and any unwanted sight like pee stains on the toilet could trigger her upset stomach. I agreed because I'm too nice to tell a struggling pregnant woman to buzz off with her unreasonable requests. This has been going on for months now. I get told to grin and bear and smile and be warm and welcoming. And I am. I swear I am. But it all came to a head yesterday. My brother-in-law was out and came back to quickly use the toilet. My sister-in-law pulled me out the kitchen and begged me to go clean the toilet because her husband just used it and most likely left pee stains all over the seats since he can't aim right. I gave her a he sure knows how to aim in other areas there look, as she told me she needed to pee right then, and I said fine and went to clean the toilet. My husband, male 32, showed up asking what I was doing while cleaning the toilet, feeling disgusted. I stopped and vented to him about how his sister is basically milking her pregnancy, and I asked when exactly is she and her husband going to get their own place. And he nonchalantly responded with, "I don't know, can't really tell, and it'd be rude to ask, so I guess we'll just have to wait it out. Now get back to work." I stared, and he asked, "What?" Then I threw the brush and yelled at him that cleaning the freaking toilet isn't my job, and he was overstepping by implying that it was. He shushed me, saying his sister can hear me, but I said I don't give a crap anymore, and that if he felt so strongly about this, then he should be cleaning the toilet every time she needs to use it. Or I don't know, get her husband to do it maybe? He said that I knew damn well he wants to help, but his germophobia is making him feel helpless. He begged me to finish cleaning, but I stormed off to my room and locked myself inside. Next thing I hear, his sister complaining about not being able to use the toilet since I wasn't done cleaning. Then she was forced to use it anyway and ended up throwing up later. My husband then had an argument with me saying, "See? She got sick and threw up because you refused to finish cleaning the toilet." And he said it was just a toilet, but I overreacted, and reminded me his sister is struggling and told me to put myself in her shoes and ask if that is how I wanted to be treated. I said I was fed up, and that I didn't have to do any of this if it wasn't for the goodness of my heart, and that cleaning the toilet for his pregnant sister wasn't/isn't and will no longer be my job, period. He got mad, saying I was putting him between a rock and hard place, and again said I'm too sensitive, and if I really am a person with a good heart, then I'll do my best to help his pregnant sister. But I refused. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Her husband can't clean up his own piss. Exactly. The pregnant woman's husband can clean up the toilet right after he uses it. As a matter of fact, if it's such a problem, then why don't they all clean it right after they use it? This is ridiculous, and I would be fed up as well. Not stay home. Jesus Christ, Opie. Move out. What on earth did you do in a past life to land in this purgatory house of 3 grown adults, none of whom can A, pee inside of a toilet, B, use a toilet that has been peed on, or C, clean the heck up after themselves like the grown adults that they are? Not stay home, but damn. Go stay with a friend or family member until your house is back down to only 1 grown adult who can't clean up after himself. Or maybe better yet, not even him. Get your own place with sparkly clean toilets. I love where the husband asks how she would like to be treated in sister-in-law's shoes. I'm sorry. Husband is such a germaphobe he can't clean the toilet at all? Ever? So if Opie gets pregnant, she will still be cleaning everything because germs make her husband feel helpless. So Opie should be very aware. No one in this family will ever help her with anything. Ever. Not stay home. You are being played. By all of them. You need to care if the toilet is clean because all 3 other adults can't be bothered to just leave it very clean. Normal people would agree on that every person cleans after using. Every person. Man who can't aim, germaphobes, pregnant women. This is insane. And I'm so worried about what else you accept as normal, if you've been the maid for months now. Yeah, this is nuts. 1, if brother-in-law can't aim, is he a bratty teenager? He can sit and he can clean. He shouldn't be leaving the toilet dirty like that. 2, most pregnant women can and do use and clean toilets. Sister-in-law's princess behavior is so entitled it hurts. 3, Opie's husband is an a-hole. Cleaning the toilet can't simultaneously be no big deal, but too big a deal for him to do it. He can talk out of his bottom about how Opie would like to be treated all he likes, but that's a bit of a stupid question for him to ask. If Opie actually stops to think about how she'd like to be treated, she very well may not hang around long enough to be in a position where she's pregnant or vulnerable.